You have probably noticed from all of the comments that we get, many people find that listening to
Mayim Bialik's journey into the public eye has been anything but typical. From her beginnings as a young girl in San Diego to becoming a renowned figure in Hollywood, her story reflects a blend of personal ambition, emotional resilience, and an unwavering commitment to science. Along the way, she faced the highs and lows of fame, wrestled with societal expectations, and balanced family life with a career that few could have imagined. Early life, the seed of a unique legacy. Born on December 12, 1975 in San Diego, California, Mayim Bialik was raised by her parents, Beverly and Barry, who worked hard to maintain a simple, family-centered life. The family, rooted in Jewish immigrant traditions, had a background steeped in literature and the arts. Her father, a writer, and her mother, a drama teacher, instilled in her the importance of creativity and intellect from an early age. While her early life was modest, there was always an undercurrent of cultural richness. Bialik's connection to her Jewish heritage was profound, a legacy she felt deeply. Her great-grandfather, Chaim Nahman Bialik, a revered Hebrew poet, had shaped Jewish identity in the early 20th century. Though this connection was not always visible in the outside world, it guided Mayim through the many stages of her career. This sense of belonging was something she carried with her in every choice, from acting to neuroscience. It grounded her in something much larger than herself. From Hollywood beginnings to teen stardom, Mayim Bialik's rise to fame wasn't one of sudden stardom. Rather, it was a gradual immersion into the world of acting that shaped her identity as a young star. Growing up in a modest family in San Diego, her parents, Beverly and Barry, set the foundation for a life filled with hard work, love, and a deep respect for education and the arts. Both coming from Jewish immigrant backgrounds, they placed importance on tradition and intellectual pursuits. Mayim's mother, a drama teacher, introduced her to theater early on, and the arts became a significant part of her life. It was at the tender age of 12 when Mayim landed her first film role in Pumpkinhead, 1988. It was a minor role, but it marked the beginning of her journey into acting. Little did she know that this small part would open the doors to greater opportunities, such as her portrayal of young Bette Midler in the beloved tear-jerker Beaches, 1988. Mayim's performance struck a chord with audiences, cementing her as a rising star in Hollywood. Even though she was thrust into the spotlight, Mayim's upbringing kept her grounded. Despite the newfound fame, her parents prioritized education above all else. They encouraged her to focus on her schoolwork just as much as her acting career. In fact, her parents never let her forget that fame was fleeting, and they always reminded her that education and personal growth would be her true sources of stability. The values instilled in her at home would continue to influence how she navigated her career in the years that followed. She was never just a child star. Her early experiences, including those on set and in her family life, gave her a unique perspective on the entertainment industry. She understood the pressures that came with fame, and it made her even more determined to stay true to her roots. Mayim learned early on that resilience was key. Resilience in the face of challenges on set, at school, and in the evolving world of Hollywood. The impact of Blossom and Growing Pains. In 1990, Mayim's career reached a defining moment. She was cast as the lead in Blossom, a sitcom that quickly became a cultural phenomenon. As the quirky, intelligent, and endearing teen Blossom Russo, Mayim won the hearts of millions of viewers around the world. The show became a household name, and Mayim found herself in the limelight. However, the pressures of fame, especially as a teenager, began to weigh heavily on her. Her early years on Blossom were filled with both excitement and emotional complexity. While the show brought her fame, it also added an intense layer of pressure. Her teen years, as many young stars will attest, were full of growing pains, both in terms of her personal life and public image. Her parents' divorce added to the emotional toll, and though she maintained a positive on-screen persona, off-screen, she often felt isolated and misunderstood. The balancing act between public life and private struggles became increasingly difficult. Despite the growing success of Blossom, Mayim began to feel the emotional burden of being a teen star. At the time, fame was not the glamorous experience it may have appeared to be on TV. As millions of people tuned in to watch her every week, Mayim found herself retreating more into her own thoughts, grappling with her identity and personal challenges. There was the constant pressure to maintain her image while navigating the difficult realities of adolescence. Her desire to step away from certain roles that could potentially typecast her as the awkward girl was a clear sign of her growing need for autonomy. While many actors of her age were caught up in the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, Mayim's focus was shifting. She was no longer just the girl playing a quirky teen on TV. She was someone who had deeper aspirations. She wanted to be known for her intellectual curiosity and ability to take on more meaningful roles, not just ones that played to the public's image of her. A bold step away. Neuroscience over fame. In 1995, after the final season of Blossom, Mayim made a decision that shocked many in Hollywood. She walked away from acting. At just 19, she chose to enroll at UCLA and pursue an academic career in neuroscience, Hebrew, and Jewish studies. The move was bold, and for many, it seemed like a departure from everything they thought they knew about her. But for Mayim, it was a step toward reclaiming control over her life and her future. For years, she had been defined by her role as Blossom. The character had become iconic, but Mayim was determined to ensure that she would not be limited by that one role. Enrolling at UCLA allowed her to explore the world of academia and neuroscience, a field that fascinated her. Her interest in human behavior, emotions, and the mind had always been there, but it took a backseat to her acting career. Now, she was free to explore it in depth. Her decision to leave Hollywood and focus on her studies was also a reflection of her need for personal growth. She had spent years in the public eye, dealing with the complexities of fame and the expectations that came with it. Now, she sought a different path, one that was more aligned with her intellectual passions. Studying neuroscience gave her a sense of purpose beyond the bright lights of Hollywood. It was a grounding force in her life that helped her deal with the emotional toll of being in the entertainment industry at such a young age. At UCLA, Mayim earned a degree in neuroscience, where she studied the biological roots of human behavior. Her academic journey helped her build the tools she needed to understand both herself and the world around her. It also allowed her to step away from the constraints of Hollywood and explore her identity beyond the glare of the camera. Through her studies, Mayim developed a deep appreciation for the complexity of the human mind and behavior, a fascination that would continue to shape her future endeavors. Finding fulfillment in academia. While Mayim's return to school was a deliberate break from acting, it wasn't a retreat from her ambitions. Rather, it was a chance to forge a new path, one that allowed her to merge her love of science with her own life experiences. She poured herself into her studies, particularly in the fields of neuroscience and psychology. Mayim became fascinated by oxytocin, the hormone that plays a major role in bonding and emotional regulation, and its connection to human behavior. She also studied Prader-Willi syndrome, a genetic disorder that affects behaviors such as compulsive eating and temper control. In fact, Mayim's work on Prader-Willi syndrome during her time at UCLA became one of her most significant academic accomplishments. Her research focused on understanding the connection between brain chemistry and behavior, and her work was groundbreaking in the field. She became one of the few scientists to bridge the gap between entertainment and science. As an actress who had experienced the intense pressures of fame and an academic who understood the complexity of human behavior, Mayim was uniquely equipped to contribute to both worlds. Her academic work went beyond just earning a degree. It was about exploring the intricacies of human behavior, and her research was featured in major conferences, helping to expand the dialogue about the biological roots of psychological conditions. It also set the stage for Mayim's later advocacy work in mental health and psychology, where she used her platform to break down barriers and shed light on topics that were often stigmatized. Mayim's decision to leave Hollywood and pursue academics wasn't just about escaping the limelight. It was about personal growth, intellectual curiosity, and a desire to help others understand the complexities of the human experience. It allowed her to step away from the fame and pressures of the entertainment industry while still leaving her mark on the world through her research and later, her advocacy work. A return to the spotlight. Merging science and acting, Mayim's journey came full circle when, after years away from acting, she returned to the screen in 2010 as Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory. The role of Amy, a socially awkward neuroscientist, was a perfect fit for Mayim, who had studied neuroscience at UCLA and always had a passion for understanding human behavior. It was also a nod to the character she had portrayed during her childhood. Yet this time, the role was different. Amy was an intelligent, complex woman, and Mayim's portrayal of her was groundbreaking. Despite her years away from acting, Mayim brought something special to the role of Amy. She was able to blend her personal experiences with her academic knowledge, which gave her performance an authenticity that resonated with fans. Her passion for science, which she had cultivated during her time at UCLA, was apparent in the way she portrayed Amy, making her both relatable and inspiring. Behind the scenes, however, Mayim faced new challenges. She had to reconcile her academic life with her acting career, and she often encountered skepticism from colleagues in both fields. Some questioned whether she could truly balance both worlds, but Mayim proved them wrong. She made it clear that she could thrive in both spaces, using her platform to advocate for the importance of mental health, science, and education. Her role on The Big Bang Theory allowed her to merge her two passions, acting and neuroscience, while also challenging the stereotype of the awkward girl she had worked so hard to avoid. It wasn't just a career comeback for Mayim, it was a reaffirmation of her belief that we are not defined by our past, but by the choices we make to shape our future. A return to acting. Finding balance in Hollywood. Despite her academic focus, Mayim's acting career was far from over. After nearly a decade away from Hollywood, she returned to the screen in 2010 when she was cast as Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory. This role, unlike anything she had done before, allowed her to merge her passion for science with acting. Her portrayal of Amy brought depth to the character, making her one of the show's most beloved characters. Behind the scenes, however, there were struggles. Mayim faced criticism for her acting career and her academic background. Some lab colleagues dismissed her as the actress, while others wondered if she could truly balance the two worlds. Nevertheless, she persisted, using her position on The Big Bang Theory to advocate for scientific accuracy in her portrayal of Amy. Her commitment to her character, combined with her scientific background, made her role authentic and beloved by fans. Fighting for fairness. Pay equality and advocacy. As Mayim's star continued to rise, so did her awareness of the inequalities in Hollywood. On the set of The Big Bang Theory, she worked with her co-star Melissa Rauch to negotiate pay raises in 2017, which brought them closer to pay equity with their male counterparts. In doing so, Mayim became an advocate for fair pay in Hollywood, especially for women in the entertainment industry. But the challenges didn't stop there. She was also outspoken about her struggles with mental health, particularly with ADHD and OCD. These conditions, which she had dealt with privately for years, became central to her advocacy efforts. Mayim's commitment to normalizing mental health discussions and speaking openly about her own struggles helped pave the way for others to seek help. A controversial exit. Standing up for principles. In 2023, Mayim made the controversial decision to walk off the set of Jeopardy in support of the Writers Guild strike. This decision had consequences. Sony, the show's production company, chose to remove her from the hosting role, citing disruptions to production. In a 2025 podcast, Mayim admitted that her firing was directly tied to her strike walkout. This bold stand cost her not only her position, but also millions of dollars. Mayim's firing highlighted the complex dynamics of Hollywood, where standing up for one's principles can come at a steep price. Despite the financial and professional setbacks, she remained resolute in her support for labor rights. This experience led her to pivot her career toward podcasting and writing, where she could continue to advocate for the causes she believed in without the constraints of the entertainment industry. New Beginnings, Writing, Advocacy, and a Neuroscience Memoir. In the wake of her departure from Jeopardy, Mayim continued to pursue her passion for writing and speaking. She authored books like Beyond the Sling and Girling Up, which became bestsellers and helped redefine the way people approached parenting and adolescence. Her work in the field of neuroscience continued to influence her writing as she used her platform to educate others on the importance of mental health, self-care, and personal growth. Her upcoming memoir, announced in 2025, promises to offer an honest look at her life, blending her Hollywood career with her academic journey. It will touch on personal experiences, such as her time on a 1994 Woody Allen film, and delve into the challenges she faced as a woman in both Hollywood and academia. Legacy? Changing the conversation. As of 2025, Mayim Bialik's net worth had reached $25 million, not just from her acting career, but from her books, speaking engagements, and podcast. Through it all, she remained a steadfast advocate for women in science, mental health, and labor rights. Her influence at UCLA helped increase female enrollment in neuroscience programs, and her books continued to spark conversation about mental health, wellness, and family life. Despite the controversies, her career is a testament to the power of standing by your principles, advocating for others, and staying true to yourself in an often unforgiving industry.